The story today is called Hester in the Wild. It's written by Sandra Boynton and also illustrated by Sandra Boynton. Hester's canoe had a hole in it. It wasn't a very big hole, but the more Hester paddled, the more trouble the hole made. So Hester decided to patch it. She measured and she cut and she sewed until her canoe was as good as new. But now Hester's tent had a hole in it. At first, Hester liked the new hole in her tent. It gave her a nice view of the stars. But one night it rained, and the more it rained, the more trouble the hole made. And Hester had to find somewhere else to sleep. At sunrise, Hester crawled out from under her canoe. It had stopped raining. There was mud all around. "Ah," said Hester as she danced in the mud. "Ooh," said Hester as she rolled in the mud. "Ee," squealed Hester as she turned a wonderful somersault in the mud. "But oh no," said Hester. And slop went the mud and she was stuck. Hester waved her arms and kicked her feet, and when she was right side up again, a wonderful idea came to her. "If I turn the tent over onto its snout," thought Hester, "then it won't leak." And that is what she did. Now the hole faced down towards the ground. And the next time it rained, Hester's tent stayed nice and dry inside. But something happened. All was not well. "Gophers! Come on in," yelled one gopher to another. "It's nice and dry in here." And the gophers all snuggled on top of Hester, and they all began to snore. But Hester could not sleep, and she could not sleep. And she could not sleep. "Rise and shine!" shouted Hester suddenly. "Rise and shine! It's morning!" Of course it wasn't morning at all, but the little gophers, ran out of the tent in search of breakfast. Quickly, Hester moved her sleeping bag over the hole, and there she slept, but not for long. "All right, pig, come out here," said a deep, loud, unpleasant voice. "I want to have a word with you." Hester unzipped the front of the tent and peeked out. "Who's that?" she asked. "Come out here, pig," said the voice, and Hester came out. "Good morning," she said. "Are you the nasty little pig who tricked my gopher friends into running out into the pouring rain in the middle of the night?" asked the bear. And Hester nodded. And with that, grumbling and growling, the bear stomped over to Hester's canoe, gave it a very hard kick, and strode off into the woods. Hester's canoe had a hole in it again. "What am I going to do now?" cried Hester. "Never fear," answered a small voice from above. Hester looked up, and hovering overhead was a tiny white rabbit with green wings. "I've come to help you," said the rabbit, waving its wand. "I don't believe this," mumbled Hester. "Excuse me," said the rabbit. settling onto Hester's snout. "How silly," said Hester. "There's no such thing as a fairy rabbit." The tiny white rabbit, grew lavender with anger. "Well," said the rabbit, rapping Hester's snout with his wand, "what about you? Who ever heard of a talking pig with a canoe?" And with that, the rabbit fluttered its little green wings and flew off. "I'm sorry," shouted Hester. "I'm sorry, come back, please." But the rabbit was gone. Hester felt miserable. She was getting a cold because of the rain, she was tired because of the gophers, she was hurt because of the rabbit, and her canoe had a hole in it. What do you think she's going to do? Well, for a long time, Hester just sat and watched the river, and as she watched, she began to sway, and as she swayed, she began to hum. Hester hummed as she patched her canoe, and she hummed as she packed up her things and stashed them under the seat. And still humming, Hester paddled off into the sunset. The end. I hope you liked the story.